Bem-vindos ao nosso espaço, um mergulho profundo nos assuntos mais interessantes de esportes, ciências e temas gerais do momento. Aqui você vai encontrar conteúdo de qualidade, com análises empolgantes e descobertas fascinantes que vão expandir seus horizontes. Nossa missão é trazer informação relevante de forma dinâmica e descontraída. Queremos que você faça parte dessa jornada incrível de conhecimento e diversão. Se gostar do nosso conteúdo, não esqueça de deixar seu like e se inscrever no canal para não perder nenhuma novidade. Ative o sininho também. Aproveite!
If you love science, don't forget to like and subscribe. When we look at a political map of the United States, specifically the American Southeast, we often see a strange, crescent-shaped arc of blue counties cutting through a sea of red. To a political scientist, this is a demographic curiosity. To a geologist, however, it's a 100-million-year-old coastline. It sounds like science fiction. The idea that the way someone votes today was determined by the movement of tectonic plates and the death of microscopic organisms in the Cretaceous period. But the link is undeniable, scientific, and deeply rooted in the very dirt beneath our feet. Let's travel back 100 million years. During the mid-Cretaceous, the Earth was much warmer, and sea levels were significantly higher than they are today. A massive shallow sea known as the Western Interior Seaway split North America in two, and another shallow sea curved across what we now call the Deep South. This wasn't a violent, crashing ocean. It was a calm, tropical environment teeming with life. Specifically, it was filled with tiny marine organisms called coccolithophores. As these billions of organisms died over millions of years, their calcium-rich shells sank to the bottom, mixing with fine sediment to create a specific geological formation known as the Selma Group. This layer of chalky limestone and marl became the foundation for everything that followed. Eventually, the Earth cooled, the ice caps grew, and the seas retreated. What was once a vibrant shoreline became dry land. But it wasn't just any land. The weathering of that 100-million-year-old seabed created a thin strip of incredibly rich, dark, and fertile soil. This soil was high in calcium and nutrients, making it perfect for agriculture, unlike the sandy, acidic, and nutrient-poor soils found just a few miles to the north or south. This geological feature is known as the Black Belt, named originally for the dark color of the Earth itself, long before the term took on its demographic meaning. Now, this is where geology meets human history in a dark and profound way. In the early 19th century, as the United States expanded its agricultural empire, settlers looked for the best land to grow king cotton. They found the Black Belt. Because the soil was so productive, the plantation economy exploded in this specific geographic arc. This led to a massive and horrific influx of enslaved people who were forced to work these fertile lands. The geography dictated the economics, and the economics dictated the forced migration and settlement of millions of African Americans. The very fertility of the soil, created by Cretaceous plankton, became the anchor for one of the most significant demographic shifts in American history. Fast forward to the present day. Even after the Civil War, the abolition of slavery, and the Great Migration of the 20th century, the demographic footprint of that 100-million-year-old shoreline remains largely intact. The descendants of those who were forced to work the Selma Group soils still live in many of these counties. Today, these areas have high concentrations of African American voters. In the modern American political landscape, this demographic is one of the most consistent voting blocs, leaning heavily toward the Democratic Party. When you overlay a map of the Cretaceous shoreline onto a map of the 2020 or 2024 presidential election results, the match is startling. You can literally trace the ancient coast by looking at where the blue dots appear in states like Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, and North Carolina. The political, blue, follows the geological, black, soil, which follows the ancient, white, chalk of the Cretaceous Sea. It is a perfect example of deep time influencing the present. The microscopic organisms of the past are essentially casting shadows on our modern balance. This isn't just a quirk of American politics, either. All over the world, geology shapes our destiny. In the United Kingdom, coal deposits from the Carboniferous period, 300 million years ago, dictated where industrial cities were built. Those cities became hubs for the labor movement, which created the foundations of the modern UK political parties. In northern France, the presence of specific limestone layers determined where the trenches of World War I were dug, which in turn influenced the reconstruction and political leanings of those regions for a century. Geology provides the stage, and we simply play our parts. We like to think of our political choices as purely intellectual, based on current events, candidates, or social media trends. But the tectonic vote reminds us that we are biological beings living on a geological stage. The decisions made by tectonic plates millions of years ago created the resources, the soil, and the landscape that funneled our ancestors into specific places and industries. We are, in a very real sense, voting on behalf of the ghosts of the Cretaceous Sea. Science shows us that the past is never truly dead. It's just buried under a few feet of topsoil, waiting for the next election cycle to reveal itself once again. For more incredible facts like this, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications.